Kia ora, Lara here, and today we are celebrating Mel achieving 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube. So make sure you check out the rest of the playlist and especially Mel's channel, which I'll link below. So today, as part of this celebration, Mel challenged us to scrapbook some of our favourites. So I've taken this to be a few favourite current events that I'm doing as my photos, as well as some of my favourite colours and a few favourite products. So part of the fact that they are favourite products is that quite a few of them will be just sort of scrap pieces left over from things that I've already created. So this is Cloud Cover, the colour ink that I'm using here, and you'll notice it's on a little ink cube. There's been a bit of a problem with the chemical makeup of the Stampin' Up! Ink pads and the Cloud Cover ink formulation, and that means that the sort of little stamping spot with some of the ink on it is the most reliable way of bringing out that colour. And I just sort of roughly added in a little bit of that ink sort of blended where I think it'll peek out from behind the photographs. And you'll see here I've grabbed a piece of the two-tone Strawberry Slush cardstock, and now I'm just using some of the Strawberry Slush ink just to darken up the light side of this cardstock. So just by doing this, it just adds a little bit more depth. You can sort of see that it shows that Strawberry Slush in the middle. So Strawberry Slush and Cloud Cover are two of my sort of favourites. Colours that I love using at the moment, so hence why I've used those with this sort of layout with the favourites that Mel asked us to use. So the photos that I've chosen are sort of three things that I'm enjoying doing at the moment, and the first one there is a picture of myself sitting in the spa just relaxing. It was actually one of the photo was taken on a time when we used the spa during the day. It was a rather cold day, it was a weekend, so it was just quite nice to be sitting out there. What you see me do on this piece of Strawberry Slush is I just added a little bit of some white ink splatters on there as well, and I'm just using my heat tool to dry that up. One of the other photos that I have picked is a photo of a cup. I have been making hot chili chocolates in the Thermomix, and this uses real chocolate and real milk, and then a couple of pinches of chili powder, and there's sort of a Thermomix recipe for making hot chocolate, and I've just been using that. You could do the same thing in a pot, I guess, or in the microwave or something else, but the Thermomix just kind of has the heat as well as the spinny thing going around, and the hot chocolates are really good. Got to be careful not to have too many of them though. And so the other photo there is a little bit of crochet. So since I headed up to Auckland in the last term break to catch up with my daughters and go to a maths conference, I have been crocheting a few hats. Now I'm not really sure of the purpose of all of these hats. I did create one specially for a friend the other day for her birthday, using colours that I knew were on the coats and jumpers that she wears when she's out walking her dog. So I was like, right, I'm going to make something that brings in a couple of those colours. But crochet and little sort of granny square crochet hats is another of my little favourite sort of things at the moment. It's kind of one of those things that you sit down, and I'm not very good at just sitting or just watching a movie. I have to be doing something else as well. So crochet hats it is. I can sort of do them without too much thinking. You'll see me here just cutting up some strips. I'm cutting these to about 1.5 by 7ish, and I'm going to randomly place them. Now these are from a few different collections of papers out at the moment. I will try and link those down below. Just sort of those blues and a little bit of the pinks and a little bit of floral in there, but some of that Strawberry Slush is coming through, as well as that Cloud Cover colour that's on a couple of those pieces of pattern paper. So I'm just adjusting some of the height of some of these before I sort of work a little bit more on the background. So I decide that I need to bring in a bit more of that Cloud Cover colour, and I am just sort of squishing that in with my blending brush all the way around. So next up I am going to bring in and I keep forgetting the name of this one, but it's another one that I do really enjoy using. I'll link that below. I just can't believe I've forgotten it again. I want to say ocean something, but I know that that's not exactly it. Maybe it's something secret sea. There it is. I remembered it. So it's a darker sort of navy, but not quite navy. It's sort of that really murky, deep down ocean colour that's not quite black, but it's got a little bit of a hint of blue. So I am adding in here sort of some sparkles there, using the Wink of Stella, or not, is it Wink of Stella? The sort of the glitter pen, as well as some paint, just some water drops. It just lifts the colour a bit and is quite nice, as well as some Secret Sea splattering as well that you'll see here, that I've squished the lid in and then just used my water brush to be able to put that on to do those splatters. Just using the heat tool to dry it all up so that I'm ready to carry on with a few more things. Here comes a little bit of white splattering, just a paintbrush tapped on there, just adding another little element in behind. So something that you'll notice on a lot of Mel's pages is, I think she does the Mix It Up Monday, which involves quite a bit of mixed media and things like that. So Mel has quite a few different pages, different styles and different colours and techniques, and she's probably one of the most encouraging kind of person when it comes to people's other channels and supporting people. And I know that when I was about to achieve 1,000, she sort of got in there and she was promoting and encouraging and getting people to get involved as well. So thanks, Mel, for your ongoing support and for being such a a buoyant, friendly, encouraging, uplifting sort of person in the crafting world. So thanks so much for your ongoing encouragement, and I really hope that people will jump in and have a look at what you're creating as well. So it's time to start pulling this together. I am going to mat each of these photos on a little bit of white willow cardstock. So I'm just popping them on here, and then I'm going to put them into the trimmer just to cut a little bit of a border all the way around each of them, because I just wanted that white to help it stand out from the background a bit. So you'll see when I put this down that it just needed a little bit more lift. Normally I would have backed my photos with some pattern papers, but because I'm doing these pattern paper strips behind, I felt there's enough in there already. So here is my really highly technical screw it up method. So all I'm doing is taking these strips and I have scrunched them into little balls, and now I'm going to flatten them out and I'm going to stick them down. It just adds a nice texture, looks worn. I think it adds to kind of that warmth that I'm talking about in my layout with those photos. So just rearranging the strips, I'm sort of having a pinky one and a bluey one alternate across, and trying to make sure I've got the same kind of border width across either side. To do this, I'm going to start in the middle. On my mat, there's sort of a 6-inch mark at the top, and I have tried to balance out the shapes so they started either side of it, so I've gone centre out. And just not wanting them to be the exact same height up and down. I didn't want sort of a square in the middle of the layout. I wanted a little bit up and down, a little bit chaotic almost, but without complete chaos. So I'm adding some dimensionals here onto that sort of scalloped border that I sort of freehand cut at the start, that's got that light strawberry slush on the other side as well as the inking. This is going to form a little bit of a ledge that the photos kind of sit on when they go down onto the page. So I'm using the dimensionals there and popping that part way up those strips. And next comes the photos. Some will sit in behind, some will sit on top. And just tucking them in, on and around. So I'm going to put the dimensionals on the top sort of half of the photos and then have just normal glue on the bottom part. That's because the ledge will be sitting up there and I want them to sort of be flush with it at the top and sit nicely down the bottom. So here we go, stick those down, and I realise at this point that I've actually stuck them in the wrong place and I need to shift the dimensionals from the bottom to the top, but it was meant to be like that, right? That's the way it rolls. Anyway, getting those stuck down there, and now it's sort of time to add a little bit of stamping, a little bit more texture. And if you saw my last video, I used sort of quite a nice wee mosaic-y kind of stamp from a collection, and I sort of used it to create a bit of texture. And so I'm using a couple of paint sets. I think some of these have retired, but that's the same one there that I used on a previous page. I love it, and I just wanted to bring in a little bit more of that sort of rough effect as well. Now, I did go back after I'd finished recording this video, and I did add a few more spaces where I put those textures in behind there. So make sure you check Instagram or Facebook, Scrappykea, there as well, and you will find that I've popped the updated finished layout there. So I did go ahead and cut some more of these letters out of the strawberry slush that the scallop was. I haven't inked up the edges of these though, I have just left them as they are, and I'm calling this layout Winter Warmers because each of these kind of things is it has an element of warmth to it. So the spa on a cold day, the wool crochet hats are definitely warming, and the hot chili chocolate is warming in both the fact that it's a hot chocolate and the chili just adds another little bit of warmth into that as well. So I do need to add a little bit of journaling, thinking through what that might look like, and I wanted a few other embellishments as well. So I decided just to rough hand cut some hearts using the light side of the strawberry slush as well, and to tuck them in a couple of different places. So I've just cut out 3, and I'm going to pop them onto the page, tuck them in a few places, and have them up the top there as well near that title. Going through sort of my pre-cut, pre-created embellishments. So some of these are stamped, some of them are already coloured, some of them are left over from other scrapbooking kits or pages or things that I've done, and just trying to pull out the ones that I think fit with this, the colour or with the theme of this layout. So I've chosen a few florals, and again pulling in that sort of strawberry slush colour, as well as I think a bit of melon mambo comes out there too. So it's quite handy keeping all of these sort of leftover things in a container. You've got some ready-made embellishments ready to go, or of course if you find you don't have the right colours and things, you can create your own to go with the page that you're making. So now I'm going to ink up the edges of these little hearts, just holding them down and just giving them that darkness on the edge, helps them to sort of have more of a dimensional look to them. So going to pop them there. I decided to use that bigger one down low and then put those 2 smaller ones in different places as well, and then going to bring in some of those florals. So I'm just using the dimensionals there. This paintbrush I did create, this is the 3rd project that I've used some of these leftover paintbrushes on. Just love the florals coming out of it, and again it's got that cloud cover colour is the actual colour of the paintbrush. That's the cardstock as well as the ink that I used to stamp the outline on it. Sorry, the hands are sort of off the camera a little bit just as I'm adding some of these dimensionals to some of these different embellishment stamped images that I am sticking down. So that little green flower and that pink one up the top, they were from a scrapbooking workshop kit. I want to say it's called Be Mine, but I'm not sure that that's the case. It's BEE something or other, so it's quite a cool kit, and I think it might be available in clearance at the moment, but there's a few flowers, hearts, a few other shapes within that are quite fun to use. So a few more of those wee embellishments going in there. So that's the Extraordinary Flora. That's another favourite that I've got at the moment. So while I've chosen some favourite photos, I've chosen some favourite papers, favourite colours, and also some favourite stamps that I love at the moment. And that alpha that's up the top there, I would almost say that Party Alpha is my favourite at the moment, but I do love the size of the alpha that I've used up there as well. Now, the journaling that I'm writing on, the stamp that and the die cut that made that journaling are both favourites as well. Sorry if you can hear those dogs barking in the background. Someone must have just arrived in the front part of the house, so that's not one of my favourites when they start barking like that. But anyway, so popped that journaling on. I am now just adding a few more bits and pieces as I go, and adding some little floral shapes that I had fussy cut from something else, and adding in some of my favourite strawberry slush little dots in there as well. So these have got a little bit of sparkle and a few different sizes, so just popping them at some different places around the layout. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Again, make sure you check this playlist and check out Mel's channel as well. Thanks.